Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Erin and today is Friday, which means it is book review Friday once again. I am very sorry for last Friday. I didn't have a book review up. Basically, I didn't have a book review up last Friday because it was supposed to be a book that was sent to me by the author, but I ended up not loving it. So the author decided against me filming a video for it. So I honored their wishes and I did not post a video reviewing the book. But we're here once again and we got a doozy of a book to talk about. Today we are talking about Imaginary Friend by... Hi, editing Erin here. I accidentally said the author's name wrong in the video, but it's Stephen Chobsky. So, yes. Bye now. This book, I have so much to say about it, but just look at this. This book is a big boy. It's a big boy. This is a big book. So, yeah, I have a lot to say about it. We'll see how long this video ends up turning out to be. Sometimes they're short videos and I get all my words out and I do it fast, and then sometimes it takes me forever to get there. So let's talk about the cover, shall we? So I'm going to try to show you this the best of my abilities because my ring light is making it hard because it's shiny. So we have a tree house, we have this tree, and then we have a shadow right here. I think the cover matches the book very, very well and I like it. I think it's a good cover. Okay, so let's get on to the synopsis and then I will tell you guys my thoughts. Christopher and his mom, Kate, are on the run. After Christopher's dad's death, him and his mom never stayed in one place for very long. Kate ends up in an abusive relationship, and when she leaves him, they end up in Pennsylvania. Kate is in a lot of debt, and they don't have a lot of money, but they have each other. However, Kate ends up getting a job, and she enrolls Christopher in a really good school. Christopher has always struggled with school because he has dyslexia, so school has always been harder for him, but she thinks this new school is going to be really, really good for him. One day after school, Christopher is waiting for his mom to pick him up when he sees something. This causes him to go missing in the woods for 6 days. When Christopher is found coming out of the woods, everyone is so relieved. When he is asked about how he got out of the woods, he replies that a nice man helped him. He doesn't know what the nice man looked like, he just knows that he helped him get out of the woods. Everyone is just so thankful that Christopher is okay and unharmed. But Christopher isn't actually the same Christopher. His dyslexia is magically fixed and he's improved in school by tenfold. However, he starts suffering from bad headaches. And maybe the most crucial difference is that he hears a voice in his head telling him to build a treehouse in the woods. And if he doesn't, everyone in town could be in grave danger. So that's going to do it for the synopsis. Now I'm going to give a trigger warning really quick. I'm not going to really be talking about any of these topics, but they are in the book, so I just wanted to let you guys know in case you do want to pick up the book. This book does mention sexual abuse, child abuse, domestic abuse, and suicide. They aren't very graphic or detailed, but they are mentioned, and I just want that to be a clear warning for anyone watching. Okay, let's move on to my thoughts. This book it's mind-boggling. It seems like one thing, but it's actually something else. At least it was to me. When I started this book, I thought it was going to be so much different than it actually turned out to be. Not that that's a bad thing. I actually really enjoyed this book. It's just very different. So the synopsis I gave you pretty much talks about things that happened maybe 50 pages into the book. This book is 705 pages long. Okay, so I just want you to know that the synopsis I gave you is only about like the first 50 pages. I know, but I cannot go into too much detail. I really cannot. All of what I just told you in the synopsis is the bare minimum of the plot. I mean, the bones of the plot, the bare structure, the bare foundation of the plot. I could not go into detail. Honestly, for spoiler reasons, this book is so much more than what I just told you. From what I just told you, it seems like a completely different book than what it is. But I cannot go into more detail. Honestly, like I probably could give you a little bit more, but I don't want to spoil anything for people that do want to read it. But just bear that in mind. What I just told you is the bare minimum of this book. I had no idea what this book was about. I read the inside sleeve of the book right here where it gives the little plot description, and from that I could not tell you what this book was about. I didn't know if this was going to be supernatural. I didn't know if this was going to be about ghosts or possession or aliens. I mean, I just had no idea. This book doesn't give you a lot. It doesn't. And as you keep reading, at least for me, I just got a little bit more confused and I had no idea what was going on. Until the very end does everything really makes sense. At least for me, that's how I felt reading the book. I felt very confused. I felt very lost. In a good way. It wasn't to the point where I wanted to put the book down because I just didn't know what was happening. It was more like I knew what was happening, but I didn't get the bigger picture. This book reminds me so much of Needful Things by Stephen King, and I know it doesn't sound like it. I know from what I just told you, it does not sound like it at all, but it is so similar. They have so many similar qualities, and I think that's why I ended up liking this book so much, is because I love Needful Things. That's my favorite Stephen King book. I think it's his best work. So I think that's why I ended up liking this book so much. The shining star of this book for me is the characters. I fell in love with all of the characters. They are so beautifully done. They are just what I want characters to be. They are real. They are easily likable. They are, you know what I mean? Like, you just connect to them. And that's how I felt about these characters. They were just so well done. Christopher and his mom are my absolute favorites. Their love for each other is so pure and beautiful, and they're just such a good mom and son duo. Like, they're just so perfect. They're just, I don't know. When I was reading it, Christopher is just such a good kid, and he loves his mom so incredibly much. He loves her more than anything in this world. And he is 7 years old, which is like, maybe some of the things that happen in the book or how he thinks is a little unrealistic to you. That doesn't bother me very much. I don't really care about that kind of thing. It doesn't really, you know, whatever. But he just loves his mom so much, and his mom is just such a good mom. I don't know, their relationship is just so cute and wonderful, and I love them both so much, and the whole time I was just kind of like, I love them. I love them so much. And I was just so invested in their lives and their relationship. Basically, I felt like there were so many good characters. I don't know, I just feel like each character was perfect for the role that they were supposed to be doing. My one critique, I hated that the book was 705 pages long. I don't understand why it needed to be that long. The story really does need build-up, and it takes a while to explain everything and to set everything in motion and to make everything come together, and I get that, and I liked the way the story progressed, and I thought it was perfect, but I just feel like, why 700 pages? I just felt like that was way too long. For me, I can't. 700 pages is just a long book especially for a horror book, it's just not my thing. And I know some people are probably going to love that it was super, super long and super detailed. I feel like Stephen King fans will love this book because it's very much like how Stephen King writes, and you can tell that Stephen King was an influence on him when he wrote this book, which I think is great. But for someone like me who personally doesn't read a lot of Stephen King due to the length and to the too much detail, and I'm just not a fan of how Stephen King writes, this is very, very much like Stephen King. So I feel like if you are someone who loves those 800-page horror stories where it takes forever, it's very much about the build-up, it's about the storytelling, it's about the detail, I feel like you're gonna love this because that's what it is. But for me personally, I just think it's too long. I loved it. I love this book. I think it's great. But 700 pages? 700 pages. You're telling me you couldn't get it down to 500? I just think it's too much. Despite the length, I feel like the book held my attention well, and it didn't make me feel bored or get to a point where I just wanted to stop reading or anything like that. So the length wasn't awful. It didn't deter me from reading, but it did slightly annoy me. It was easy for me to get sucked in because I felt like I never fully understood what was the full picture of the book. So every time something new happened, I was like, well, how does this fit into the overarching idea? So I just had to keep reading because I was so lost, but in a good way. I wasn't lost to the point of giving up. It was just, I was lost and I needed the answers, so I had to keep reading. I actually cried while reading this book. I know that's like super lame and super dumb. I am a very emotional person. I do cry while watching movies and TV shows and books a lot of the time. It doesn't matter if it's horror related or not. Sometimes I'm an emotional person. I'm a Pisces. I'm a water sign, okay? So if you know anything about astrology, you know. But I'm a crier, okay? I'm a crier. So I'm not saying that everyone's gonna cry at this book. I'm just saying that I did. But it was mostly because I got so attached to the characters, and when there were some heartfelt moments and some emotional moments, I couldn't help but get emotional for the characters that I fell in love with while reading this story. I was so in love with these characters that the emotions that were being portrayed in the book made me emotional. So I know that's probably different for everyone. Not everyone's gonna like cry or anything like that, but just an FYI that I did. This book is definitely creepy, but there are so many other messages portrayed throughout the book, especially the message about the power of love and how love is so strong of an emotion, and I loved that. Loved that message. I loved it. And it was laced throughout the story, and it was just so, it was like a light in the middle of all this darkness, and I just really liked that. The ending is really great. I actually really enjoyed the ending. I thought it was good. It surprised me. I wasn't quite sure how this book was gonna end, but the whole book surprised me, so I don't think it's a shock that the ending was surprising. So yeah, this book is a whirlwind. It's crazy, but in a good way. Again, it reminds me of Needful Things by Stephen King. It has that feeling, that similar vibe, I guess. So if you did enjoy Needful Things by Stephen King, I feel like you would probably enjoy this book as well. But again, my synopsis doesn't cover even half of the book. I did that on purpose because I want you guys to read it for yourself. If it sounds like something that you would be into, take into account everything that I've been saying. I know I'm not giving too much detail. I'm trying to keep this very spoiler free and just bare minimum information, but keep in mind what I've said, and if this does sound like something you would enjoy, I think you should check it out. It's a really great book. Like I said, I can't believe that Stephen Chobsky went from writing Perks of Being a Wallflower to Imaginary Friend. This is such a leap, but I feel like he did it so well. Honestly, I'm very surprised that I liked it as much as I did. I didn't know if I was going to, and yeah, it was surprising. It was a surprising book, but in a good way. I really enjoyed reading it, and I liked almost everything about it, except for the length, but you know, that's just a personal opinion. I'm sure some people won't care about the length, and they'll be like, yeah, 900 pages and over, that's the kind of books I like to read. That's not for me, but again, I did enjoy everything about this book, and I highly recommend it, and I think you guys should read it. I think it's really good, and I think this was so different from The Perks of Being a Wallflower, but in the best way possible, and it shows that he can write very different genres very well. So, okay guys, that's gonna do it on Imaginary Friend, and yeah, that's all I have to say. I enjoyed the book. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It lets me know what kind of content you enjoy from me. That way I can keep providing you with that content. Leave me a comment if you've read this book and what your thoughts about the book are. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We can become friends and talk about makeup, horror, books, all kinds of things. I do a lot on this channel, so hopefully there's something for everyone. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!